Hello everyone and welcome back to Next Gen Gaming SC. I'm your host Josh Schneider and we are back for Round 5 coverage of the Star Wars Unlimited 2K at SCG CON Baltimore. Jordan Hanning versus Seth Low. Jordan on the left piloting Han Blue, Seth on the right piloting Han Green. We've got New Han Solo versus New Han Solo. The Shadows of the Galaxy Han Solo. A showdown here in round 5. Both of these players coming in to round 5 with a 3-1 record, looking to secure a 4th win and inch themselves a bit closer to a spot in the top 8. Jordan, of course, your Richmond 4K winner and looking to have another deep run here today in Baltimore. To start things out in round 1 of game 1, Seth with the initiative. He plays Spec Force Soldier. Jordan follows up with the Han Solo action ability, playing Cassian Andor for 2. Cassian does interplay with 2 damage. And then Seth is going to follow up with a Han Solo action ability as well, playing Mon Mothma for 1 resource. And he gets to search the top 5 cards of his deck for a Rebel card, and he finds red 3. Jordan does claim the initiative. We move on to round 2. Seth loading up the board early, multiple units in the ground arena. The links to both of these decks will be down in the description below. And here in round 2, Jordan is going to play Wing Leader, and that is going to give Cassian Andor 2 experience tokens, being a Rebel unit. And Cassian has his stats bumped up to a 5/5 now. So a very strong play here in round 2 for Jordan, and now Seth has to figure out a way around the big ground threat. He's got Mon Mothma and Spec Force Soldier in the ground arena. Neither one of those units will be able to answer Cassian Andor by themselves. Seth only showing 3 power on the board. He is running Energy Conversion Lab, so that will be an option moving forward. Seth is going to play Admiral Akbar. Not a bad play at all. That is going to deal 3 damage to Cassian Andor. And now Cassian with 5 damage on, just 2 HP remaining. Jordan is going to attack Seth's base for 5 damage. And then Seth will trade with Cassian Andor. Spec Force Soldier attacking and defeating Cassian. Jordan will once again claim the initiative, and Seth will deal the first damage of game 1 to Jordan's base with Mon Mothma. So pretty good response there in round 2. Seth able to put out the timely Admiral Akbar that helps get the very large Cassian Andor off the board. And Jordan with the initiative here in round 3. 2 quick damage to Seth's base with Wing Leader. 7 damage on Seth's base now. Now the action on Seth. He is going to pay 3 for red 3. And Jordan is going to respond with a big space unit using the Han Solo action ability, playing Desperado Freighter for just 4 resources. He does have a couple damage on, leaving him at 4 HP, but That can be a great answer to red 3. Seth hits Jordan's base for 2 with Admiral Akbar. Now that red 3 is giving Seth's other units raid 1, Jordan has claimed the initiative. Another 2 damage to Jordan's base with Mon Mothma. And Seth putting another unit in the space arena. Alliance X-Wing. Seth has managed to flood the board here 3 rounds in. 4 total units on the table for Seth. 2 in the ground arena, 2 in the space arena. But with Jordan having the initiative and that Desperado freighter, Jordan could quickly take out red 3, which is really the biggest threat that Seth has presented so far here in game 1. The Desperado freighter seems quite valuable in this matchup, as Seth appears to be playing a very aggressive Han Green deck. And we know that these aggressive red-green decks love to load up the space arena. And Jordan is going to play Karabast with his first action of the round. That is actually going to deal 3 damage to red 3. So red 3 is defeated, and Desperado freighter has yet to attack. Now the action back on Seth. Seth is going to play Bright Hope into the space arena. A 2/6 Sentinel unit. That will certainly take things back a step for Jordan with that freighter, as Bright Hope can survive 1 attack from the Desperado freighter. And now the action back over to Jordan. He still has 3 ready resources. Both players have the option to deploy Han Solo here in this round. Theoretically, Jordan does have the option to take out the Bright Hope with both of his space units. He could attack with Desperado freighter and Wing Leader into Bright Hope, but he would lose both of his space units in the process. But Jordan holding on to another copy of Karabast. He is going to deal 3 damage to Alliance X-Wing, defeating the X-Wing, as Jordan clearly looking to keep that space arena intact. Both players trading a Han Solo deployment. Seth deploying Han first, Jordan following suit, deploying his own Han Solo. And Seth is going to pay 1 for heroic sacrifice. He gets to draw a card, and he is going to attack with Mon Mothma. Mon Mothma gets +2 attack, or +2 power for that attack. So 3 damage dealt to Jordan's base. And then Mon Mothma is defeated. So 8 damage on Jordan's base, 6 damage on Seth's base. And Jordan is going to use Han Solo to attack into Seth's base for 3 damage. Seth is going to attack with Han Solo, 3 damage to Jordan's base. So both players trading 3 damage to each base with Han Solo. And Jordan is going to attack Bright Hope with Desperado freighter 5 damage onto Bright Hope, 2 damage back onto Freighter, so he has just 2 remaining HP. Seth, 1 more damage to Jordan's base with Admiral Akbar, restoring 1 from his own base. And then Wing Leader finishing off Bright Hope. And Jordan having that second copy of Karabast allows Desperado Freighter to stay on the board. And that is quite important considering Seth running the 25 HP base. Jordan having the 5 power threat in the space arena certainly creates a challenge for Seth. So here in this round, Seth will start things out with the initiative. Both players up to 6 resources, and that means we could see Luke Skywalker here in this round. One of the big benefits to running the new Han Solo with blue, you can play Luke Skywalker for just 6 resources. Getting him out of turn early can be huge. So here in the mid stages of game 1, we have 12 damage on Jordan's base and 8 damage on Seth's base. With the first action of the round, Seth will use Han Solo's action ability to play K2SO for 3 resources. K2SO does take a couple damage, and that does open the possibility of Han Solo defeating K2SO. Now the action on Jordan. Jordan is also going to use the Han Solo action ability, and there he is. The Jedi Knight Luke Skywalker coming into play for 6 resources. And Jordan will have Luke Skywalker give Han Solo -3/-3 for the phase, which opens up the door for Jordan to defeat Han Solo with his own Han. The action now over to Seth. Still has 3 ready resources. And keep in mind, he has still yet to use the epic action on Energy Conversion Lab. Seth is going to play Battlefield Marine into the ground arena, and Jordan quickly attacking into Han Solo with Han Solo. Seth's Han defeated. And Seth is going to put another unit into the ground arena, R2-D2. And then Jordan firing 5 damage into Seth's base with Desperado Freighter, 13 damage on Seth's base at this point. Seth does hold on to the initiative. But with 13 damage on his base, he is in troubled waters at this stage of the game. Jordan showing a total of 14 power on his side of the table, which would be enough to finish the game here in this round. Seth does not have a way to cleanly answer Luke Skywalker or Han Solo with one of his units, outside of a card like Fleet Lieutenant being able to boost up its power for the attack. Seth would have to use 2 attacks, or Wrecker would be really good in this spot. That could come in and deal enough damage to defeat Luke Skywalker. And Seth is going to use that epic action on Energy Conversion Lab, playing Bright Hope, giving it ambush. And Bright Hope will ambush and defeat the Desperado Freighter. That is going to save quite a bit of damage this round. And Seth does choose to return the Admiral Akbar to his hand off of the win plate ability on Bright Hope, allowing Seth to draw an extra card as well. And here comes Luke Skywalker, 6 damage into Seth's base. Jordan restores 3 from his base. So the damage total now 19 damage on Seth's base, 9 on Jordan's. It is now Seth's move to make just 2 ready resources. And looking at another possible 3 damage to his base with Han Solo. Seth does have the opportunity or the potential to defeat the main threat, which is Luke Skywalker, but that would take 2 attacks, and Jordan would still be able to get the 3 damage in with Han. Seth is going to use the action ability on Han Solo, playing Admiral Akbar for just 2 resources. And now he will be able to deal 4 damage to either Han Solo or Luke Skywalker. Where does that 4 damage go? It's not quite enough to defeat either unit, but it will help him defeat that unit with just 1 more attack. So 4 damage dealt to Luke Skywalker. Jordan is going to put another 3 damage on Seth's base. 22 damage on now. Seth just barely hanging on. 3 HP remaining. He does still have 3 ready units in the ground arena. And he will have to use those units to defeat both Luke Skywalker and Han Solo, because 1 attack from either of those units would finish the game next round. Seth takes R2-D2, attacks into Luke Skywalker. Luke Skywalker just 1 HP remaining. R2-D2, just enough power to take him down. Seth using the on-attack trigger from R2-D2, looking at the top card of his deck, putting it on the bottom. Now the question is, does Jordan have another threat he can present in the ground arena that Seth would not be able to answer? He could also put more threats in the space arena, but would first have to go through Bright Hope. And Jordan is going to play another copy of Desperado Freighter, this time paying the full 5 resources. So Desperado Freighter gets to keep its 6 HP. And now Seth will start the process of taking out Han Solo. Battlefield Marine attacking Han, putting 3 damage on Han Solo. Battlefield Marine defeated. And Jordan is going to play Green Squadron A-Wing. So Jordan now has 2 units in the space arena. Seth takes K2SO, attacks into Han Solo. That is going to defeat Han Solo. 1 damage from K2SO's Overwhelm goes on to Jordan's base. And then the when defeated trigger on K2SO, Seth choosing to deal an extra 3 damage to Jordan's base. So the damage total is now 13 damage on Jordan's base, 22 damage on Seth's base. Jordan does have the initiative here in this round, and he has the 2 units in the space arena, so he can attack and defeat Bright Hope with 1 of those units, and then the other unit would have a clear path to Seth's base. So Seth will have to have an answer for 1 of those 2 space units or this game will be over. And Jordan is going to play Crate Dragon off of the Han Solo action ability. So now any answer that Seth would have for these space units, Crate Dragon would just deal direct damage to Seth, and that is going to do it for game 1. Jordan takes the lead here in round 5 at the Baltimore 2K. We are set for game 2 here in round 5 of the Baltimore 2K. Jordan Hanning with a 1-0 lead currently over Seth Low. We've got New Han Blue versus New Han Green. If you like the tokens we are using, check out Laser Gaming. The link is down in the description below. And through September 30th, 2024, you can use code NEXTGENGAMING to get 5% off their Star Wars Unlimited products and take your gameplay experience to the next level. So here we go for game 2. Seth with the initiative. He is going to play R2-D2 in the ground arena, taking a peek at the top card of his deck, leaving it there. And for the second straight game, Jordan here in round 1 using the Han Solo action ability to play Cassian Andor. And Seth is going to put 2 units in the ground arena once again in round 1. He uses the Han Solo action ability to play Battlefield Marine. Jordan will start with the initiative. And if Jordan does not have a wing leader right away here in round 2, as he did in game 1, the Battlefield Marine will help Seth keep control of that Cassian Andor. Both of these decks running Crate Dragon. We saw Crate Dragon come in at the end of game 1, sealing that game up for Jordan. And we will see here in game 2, can one of these players get Crate Dragon out? And if they do, who can get it out first? Jordan with the initiative, his first play, Carabast. That is going to deal 3 damage to Battlefield Marine, so the Marine defeated. And now Seth not showing an answer on the board for Cassian Andor. Seth is going to play red 3 in the space arena. That is going to make R2-D2's attack a little bit more aggressive. Cassian Andor going into Seth's base for 3 damage. And then R2-D2 attacking Jordan's base for 2 damage. Seth using the on-attack trigger from R2-D2. He gets to look at the top card of his deck, and he can either leave it on top or put it on the bottom. This time he ships that card to the bottom of the deck. And now the action is back on Jordan. He has 1 ready resource. He is just going to claim the initiative once again. And this time Seth will pass, and we will move on to the next round. If Seth can keep the red 3 on the board and present multiple threats as he did in game 1, maybe he can carry enough momentum to the mid and late game to force a game 3 here in round 5. Jordan has the initiative. And for the second straight game, we are going to see back-to-back Carabast plays for Jordan. This time, 3 damage dealt to red 3. And unfortunately for Seth, he does not get a lot of mileage out of red 3. Just 1 extra damage off of that R2-D2 attack last round. Seth playing the Fleet Lieutenant. R2-D2 attacking Cassian Andor with +2 power. So Cassian defeated. 3 damage back onto R2. Jordan plays Green Squadron A-Wing into the space arena. And then Seth using the Han Solo action ability, playing Mon Mothma for 1 resource. And again, getting to search the top 5 cards of his deck for a Rebel card. We saw him pick up red 3 in the first game off of Mon Mothma. This time he is going to get Metal Ceremony.
I do have to show it to you.
And Metal Ceremony can certainly be an impactful play for Seth, as he has multiple Rebel units on the board. Metal Ceremony, 0 cost. Allows you to give an experience token to up to 3 Rebel units that attacked in a given round. So it certainly has the potential to strengthen Seth's board by quite a bit. Jordan did claim the initiative once again. We see a Poe Dameron, Yoda, and I believe a Kanan Jarrus in Jordan's hand. None of those cards are going to create an immediate answer for Seth's board. But if he could get Poe Dameron to stick, that could certainly create a lot of tempo for Jordan in the next round. So there comes Poe Dameron into the ground arena. Now the action back over to Seth. Seth is going to deploy Han Solo, and Jordan will do the same, deploy his own Han Solo. No hesitation there from either player. And Seth is going to make a strong play using the epic action on Energy Conversion Lab to play Steadfast Battalion, giving him ambush. And with Han Solo being in the ground arena for Seth, Steadfast Battalion becoming a 7/7 on attack, defeating Poe Dameron and dealing 1 damage through the overwhelm to Jordan's base. Jordan defeating Fleet Lieutenant with Han Solo. And then Seth taking his Han Solo, defeating Jordan's Han because Han had 3 damage on. Jordan attacking Seth's base for 3 damage with Green Squadron A-Wing. And now Seth attacking Jordan's base with R2-D2 for 1. Putting that top card onto the bottom of the deck. Jordan claiming the initiative, and then another damage to Jordan's base with Mon Mothma. And Seth is going to take advantage of Metal Ceremony. He is going to give an experience token to both of the Rebel units he controls in the ground arena that attacked this phase. R2-D2 and Mon Mothma getting a bit bigger. Steadfast Battalion defeated at the end of the phase. He had 6 damage on, and the +2/+2 from the on attack ability only lasts through the end of the phase. So the battalion off the board. Jordan once again has the initiative, but staring down a rather large ground arena for Seth. Seth threatening with 7 possible damage in the ground arena. Jordan holding on to Green Squadron A-Wing in the space arena, and Jordan's still a bit ahead in the damage race right now. Jordan is going to pay full price for Yoda. Yoda coming down into the ground arena. Now the action back over to Seth. Seth with just 2 cards in hand. He does not have a clean answer to Yoda on the board. And Yoda can really start to swing the damage count in Jordan's favor if he stays in play. Seth is going to play Fleet Lieutenant off of the Han Solo action ability. So Fleet Lieutenant costs just 2 resources. And Seth is going to attack with Mon Mothma with 2 extra power into Jordan's base. So 9 damage on Jordan's base. But Yoda stays on the board, and that is going to enable a fantastic play for Jordan. Here comes Force Throw. Force Throw discarding Seth's last card in hand. That was a Bright Hope, and that is going to be 4 damage dealt to Han Solo, defeating Han. Hindsight is 20/20, but with Seth not taking out Yoda, that enabled a huge Force Throw for Jordan, and now the momentum has completely swung in Jordan's favor. R2-D2 does attack Jordan's base for 2 damage. Green Squadron A-Wing coming across into Seth's base for 3. And Seth is going to claim the initiative. So at the end of the round, 11 damage on Jordan's base, 9 damage on Seth's base. But that was a very important turn for Jordan to get Han Solo off the board and keep Seth from being able to put Bright Hope down into the space arena. Seth will start the round with the initiative. And with Yoda still on the board, Yoda can take out any one of those threats in the ground arena that Seth has. So if Seth does not answer Yoda right away, he's likely going to try to maximize the damage output. So Seth will attack with Fleet Lieutenant first, 3 damage to Jordan's base.
2-4 with 2 damage. Yes. And that's kind of the same thing. 2-5 with 3 damage.
And now Yoda is going to come across the board and attack into R2-D2. That will defeat R2-D2. Jordan restores 2 damage from his base, and Yoda takes 2 damage. Now the action on Seth. And again, with that Force Throw last round, discarding Seth's last card in hand. Seth was in top deck mode. For this round, he is going to play Bright Hope, so he found another Bright Hope off the top. So Bright Hope going down into the space arena, returning the Fleet Lieutenant to Seth's hand, so Seth draws an extra card. Bright Hope will help slow down the A-Wing, but Jordan with a very solid response. Poe Dameron down into the ground arena. Seth is going to use the Han Solo action ability, paying 2 resources for Fleet Lieutenant. And Mon Mothma is going to attack into Jordan's base for 4 damage. But Seth does not have an answer for Poe Dameron. Jordan claims the initiative. Seth passes, and Jordan will get to ready and use Poe here in this round. Poe Dameron is such a game-changing unit. So much potential. Seth is slightly ahead in the damage race. Jordan, 14 HP remaining on his base. Seth with 16 HP remaining on the base. But that is very likely to change here in this round. And once again, Jordan is going to get the Crate Dragon out. Crate Dragon onto the board for 8 resources off of the Han Solo action ability. And that spells big-time trouble for Seth.
Like, I've been putting them up here to try and get the...
Oh, yeah.
Guess, it's a crate dragon. It's going to have 15 of them.
Now with a Crate Dragon and Poe Dameron in the ground arena, does Seth have any way around this situation? He is not showing enough damage on the board to deal fatal to Jordan's base. So Seth is going to take Mon Mothma, attack into Poe Dameron. That's 2 damage on Poe. Mon Mothma defeated. And now the action back over to Jordan. Jordan still showing another possible 10 damage with Poe's on attack ability that he could deal to Seth's base this round.
Trigger attack.
So Poe Dameron is going to attack into Seth's base for 6 damage.
6 on this.
And with the on attack ability, Jordan discarding Kanan Jarrus to deal 2 damage to Fleet Lieutenant. So the Fleet Lieutenant defeated, and the damage total on Seth's base up to 15. And this is a very tough spot for Seth as he stares down a relentless ground arena. And there is the handshake. Poe Dameron and Crate Dragon just too much to overcome for Seth. And Jordan is victorious here in round 5 at the Baltimore 2K. Thank you so much to everyone for tuning in. Stay tuned for round 6 coverage of the Baltimore 2K. May the force be with you, and until next time, take care.